Good morning, everybody. Gilda's Club Quad City is back for another weekly virtual group meditation class led by Angela Swanson. I'm Kelly Hendershot, Program Director here at Gilda's Club. If you have any questions during the meditation, please feel free to chat them into the screen if you're viewing us via Facebook Live, and we'll be sure to have Angela answer them at the end of the meditation practice. Right now, I'll go ahead and turn things over to Angela.
Thank you, Kelly. Well, welcome everyone. It's a beautiful day in Davenport. The sun's out, it's warm, and that feels really good. I don't know about you, but like Kelly, Kim said that sunshine really does something for us. It really rejuvenates our spirit, and I really feel that today, and I hope you do too. Before we get started with our meditation, I wanted to inquire about meditation, the skill of meditation. And I want to know if anybody has any questions for me. Maybe you've been practicing on your own, or you've been doing other guided practices. And I just want to know if there's anything I can do to support you in that. If there's questions you have or challenges that you're experiencing. So feel free to bring anything up that's on your mind.
I know, Angela, one question that I hear a lot is there a best time of day that people should meditate?
Well, I think especially now when we're all enduring heightened stress, and we've got more stress in our nervous system, and especially when we're not feeling physically well, that anytime you can, and anytime you feel the need or want to, that you can meditate. So use that skill anytime and use it luxuriously. I feel like meditation is a luxury, a necessity, but it feels very luxurious because I end up feeling so amazing afterwards that it just feels like this luxurious experience. And so I would encourage you to just give yourself the permission to slow down. And I know we're all sort of forced into this slow down anyway. But if you're in a space of, you're physically disconnected from people, and, maybe your routines have been disrupted, that can feel a little anxiety producing because you're not doing what we normally do. And so while our bodies are sort of slowing down, our nervous systems may still be really amped up because of that anxiety that's inside of us. So we've got this sort of, slowing down, physical slowdown, but then still inside of us in our nervous system, it's still very active. Does anybody relate to that, feeling that way? Like I'm sort of not doing much, but inside of me, it's sort of churning. Yeah, so it's really important to try to bring that into balance. And that's what meditation helps you do, is get that stress out of the nervous system so that, you can actually relax. You can actually feel relief, and you can feel some peace. So I would encourage you to use the meditation of any kind as much as you want. Now, if you want to have a daily practice and start establishing a habit, then I would pick a time in the morning. My habit is the first thing in the morning, right? After I wake up, I don't even usually get out of bed. I just sit up in my bed and I do my practice for 20 or 30 minutes, and then I start my day. So I really like that advice, because once you get up and you get walking around and, you make your coffee, you let the dog out, you see what the weather's doing, and then you might be tempted to, check Facebook or see who, texted you. And then my mind is just off and running at that point. So I really have to make it the very first thing I do so that I get it in. And getting it in is really, really, really important, because meditation doesn't do anything for you unless you do it. So that's the way I make it a habit, is I just do it right after I open my eyes in the morning, sit up in bed and meditate. So then again, in the afternoon, you could add another seated practice. But again, I encourage you to find little moments during the day. It doesn't have to be very long. It can just be a moment or a minute where you can just turn your attention inward and just let yourself notice your breath or notice what you're doing, like washing your hands, preparing food, eating food, walking to the restroom, walking to your car, waiting at a red light. I mean, there's all sorts of opportunities that you can identify in your life, things that you're already doing that you could make those moments more mindful. And that actually is doing something good for your nervous system. It's training your brain to turn inward, and it's training your mind to be able to focus on one thing at a time. And all of that helps put you in the relaxation response. Because especially now our attention is, on my worries of the future, on what the news is saying, on what the latest updates from, my friends and family are. And our attention is very distracted. So we do need to find little moments during the day to make it a habit, just to become more single focused, have a one-pointed focus.
And Angela, one question we have via Facebook is, what do you do about falling asleep? I prefer to lay down to totally relax my muscles, but then I get so relaxed, I fall asleep.
Yeah, it's funny. That's been the question this week in my experience. Everyone's asking that question. So that tells me a couple things. First of all, if you're falling asleep during meditation, you have some fatigue stored in your nervous system, stored in your body, and your body's trying to throw that off. So sleep would be a natural way to throw that off. But if you're laying down while meditating, it will most often turn into a nap. So I would encourage you, if you're trying to truly relax your nervous system, or relax your body and de-stress the nervous system, is to sit up, because you'll stay awake, but your body will get into a very deep state of rest. Even though you're sitting up, your body will still reach a really profound, deep state of rest. Now, if you want to use meditation to help you fall asleep, then I would encourage you to lay down and do your relaxation meditation and then go ahead and drift off to sleep. But for every other practice, every other time of the day, I would just encourage you to try sitting comfortably. You don't have to sit a special way, but find a comfortable chair, your favorite spot in the house, and just sit comfortably and make sure you're not, too reclined, because it will too often, your meditation will turn into a nap. And a nap is a lot different. There's a lot of different things going on in your body compared to meditation. So if you really want to get the benefits of meditation, I would encourage you to sit up and do it. Are there any other questions?
Not online at the moment. If anybody on Zoom has a question, you can feel free to unmute yourself before we proceed.
I'm curious about, as we take care of ourselves in this, particular time, what are some of the other ways that you're nurturing yourself? I just wanted to throw that out and maybe have you share. So meditation is a super amazing way to nurture yourself, but what are some other ways that you're doing that?
Just getting out and enjoying the fresh air, for one.
Mm-hmm.
Music.
Yeah.
We go for walks every day.
Music, listening.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I had a question about the meditation in the morning. Are you using a guided meditation too, or are you just practicing breathing?
Me?
Yeah.
No, in the morning I do a mantra practice.
Okay.
So it is, and I'll lead us through a mantra practice today.
Okay.
So I just sit upright and I close my eyes and I just sort of get oriented. And like we do, we let our ears hear the sound in the room and let that just be part of the experience.
Okay.
And we just let our bodies, I bring my attention to my breath.
Okay.
And it just sort of brings my mind into my body. And then it starts to relax me a little bit. So that breath awareness is just a really nice anchor to bring yourself into your body and also bring your thoughts or your mind into the present moment. The breath is a really good tool to use anytime you want to bring your mind into your body or redirect your thoughts to the present moment instead of being in the past or the future, because the breath is always obviously right here, right now. So then after I do that, sometimes I'll do a little body scan, and that just makes sure, helps me, again, be rooted in my body and address any of the discomfort I might be feeling in my body. Allows my muscles to relax, allows me to just settle in, and then I silently repeat a mantra. So a mantra is designed to charm the mind, to give the thoughts something to anchor to. And it just helps to focus our attention so that our mind is sort of centered around this sound. It's a sort of a meaningless sound. And when that happens and the body can rest even deeper, the mind can start to, now I wouldn't say quiet, but settle down. And then when those thoughts arise, which they will, because that's what the mind does, it's the nature of the mind to think. So when those thoughts bubble up, then you see that the thought, or you notice that the thoughts are there, and then perhaps you've wandered away and now you're thinking, or you're, planning, or you're problem solving, or you're sort of, you're lost in your thoughts. When you notice that's happened, you just simply bring your mind back to the focus, to the mantra. And then you just do that whole thing again. You listen to the mantra, you hear the mantra, you hear the mantra, and then you notice, oh, I have some thoughts, and now I'm sort of lost in my thoughts. And then you see yourself doing that, notice that, and then just gently bring your attention back to the mantra. And that's the process of meditation. That is what we're doing that trains the brain to focus on one thing at a time, to have a present moment awareness. And it also gets into switches us into the relaxation response so that we can throw off stress from the nervous system. So it's really nourishing for the mind, and it's really nourishing for the body. And then after that, what I do is I meditate that way for maybe 20 minutes. And then I just sort of release the mantra, let that kind of float away. And I keep my eyes closed and sit quietly with my eyes closed. And I sort of let myself have some integration time. So that there's the end of the practice, and then there's maybe a minute or two until I open my eyes. And that time right there is really sweet and special. And I really like it because you've sort of reached this state of rest, and you sort of feel some spaciousness within you. And it just feels really yummy. And not all meditation, not every meditation feels that way, but most of the time that space is really yummy. And that's a nice place to add another practice. So you could do some gratitude, you could do some affirmations, you could pray, you could do nothing, you could just sit there and enjoy it. But it's kind of important to give yourself that 1 or 2 minutes of integration time, because you've gotten so deeply rested that just to open your eyes and jump up and get going might be a little disruptive to the nervous system. So we just want to be gentle and kind to ourselves in that way. And then I open my eyes, and so if I have time, sometimes it's kind of a nice, if it's a Saturday or something and I've got nothing on my calendar, I might roll over and take a nap, and that feels really good. Or I might read, or I might journal, or I might just get up and go. Most of the days I just get up and go. I'm ready to go after that, make my coffee. Is that helpful? Okay. So today I think I'll lead us through a mantra practice, and I want you to, when I say, maybe I'll say it while we're in the practice, but the mantra we'll use will just be the word one. It's just simply repeating the sound one in your mind quietly, and just letting that sort of ring in your mind, and just keep repeating and repeating and repeating. That'll be our mantra today. And when you notice that your mind has wandered away to thoughts, or maybe sounds, or you've been distracted by an emotion or a physical sensation, all of that is fine. And you should not resist any of that. You should always allow whatever wants to arise, allow it to arise, and then just let it pass away like clouds in the sky. And then, like I said, if you find you've gone with it, you've sort of floated along with the thought or the emotion or the sensation, then just notice that that's happened and just make the decision to come back and start repeating the mantra again. Does anyone have questions about that before we begin? All good? Okay. All right, so I'll invite you now to make sure you're seated comfortably. Just make any adjustments for your comfort. It's really important that you are comfortable. And to sit upright, if you can. And I invite you to close your eyes. Just notice the sounds in the room. Notice the sounds around you and the sounds outside the room. Perhaps outside you can hear the birds chirping or traffic. And just know that sounds are not a barrier to our practice. And if they are distracting, we can simply just return to whatever our focus is. We'll just let sounds be part of the experience. And then I'd invite you to go ahead and just bring your attention to your upper lip, right under your nose. And begin to notice your inhales and your exhales. We're just noticing our own breath. We're not trying to breathe any special way, letting the breath be as it is. What are we noticing about the inhales as it comes into the nose, into the body? Where does it land in the body? Perhaps if it's landing in the chest, we can direct it down to the belly. Expanding the belly on the inhale, contracting on the exhale. And the breath is the anchor for us right now, bringing our mind into the present moment, anchoring our mind in our body. I invite you to notice this at the end of your inhale. Notice the pause and the impulse to exhale. And then again at the end of the exhale, the pause and the impulse to inhale. Just follow the breath this way for a few cycles of breath. One breath at a time. Very good. Let's check in with our body. Notice how we're feeling now. We're not judging it, not judging our experience, but just simply noticing, letting things be as they are. We're not trying to have any certain experience. We are trying to pay attention to what is here for us right now. Now let's shift our attention to the top of our head. We'll begin to do a little body scan, and starting at the forehead, just let those muscles of our forehead soften. We'll scan down, softening the temples, the eyes, relaxing the face and the mouth, the tongue. Softening the jaw, the neck, and the back of the neck. Continuing across the back of the shoulders, just feeling that whole area relax and release. Scanning down the top of the back to the middle back and the lower back. Wherever we find tension, we just simply bring our awareness there and allow it to move, allow it to relax, allow it to release. And then coming back up to the front of the chest, across the front of the shoulders, scanning down your arms, just feeling a relaxing, melting sense to your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, and your fingers. Coming back up to your chest, your heart center. We'll just rest here for a moment with our awareness. And imagine your heart opening. Your whole heart center is open, receiving and giving all at the same time. Qualities of your heart: compassion, love, joy, peace. And then continuing down to your belly, letting your belly release to your hips, to your seat. And then with your awareness, just scanning down your legs, feeling all of that tension go, melt away at the knees, down to the calves and shins, around your ankles, your feet and your toes. And just take a few breaths into the whole of your body. Just notice your physical sensations from the inside out. What do you sense in your body? The body does not use words. So what is your body trying to say? How does it speak to you? Notice the sensations of the body. Very good. And let's come back and rest our attention on the breath. Letting the breath be our anchor until we hear the mantra arise in our mind. The mantra can be your own personal mantra, or you can use the mantra one. 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 Let the mantra ring in your mind. Just resting your awareness, letting the mantra charm you. And your mind wanders away, simply return it back to the mantra and begin again. It doesn't matter how many times you have to do that. You're doing it right. Continue repeating the mantra silently in your mind while I keep track of the time. Remembering to come back to the mantra when your attention has wandered away. Repeating the sound one, one, one. Go ahead and release the mantra. Keeping your eyes closed. And just noticing how your body's feeling now. Before we end our practice, I invite you to bring to mind something that you're grateful for. And let it swell within you. Let gratitude swell within you and feel it in your body. What does gratitude feel like, and where does it show up in my body? Whatever you pay attention to enlivens in your life. So it's always good to notice the good, to notice the right, to notice the true, to notice what there is to be grateful for. And then to connect that with a feeling in the body. How do I feel when I'm grateful? They say that our attention is the one thing we have control over, where we put our attention. So if you find yourself wanting something more in your life, my advice to you would be to look for it. Find it. Pay attention to when you notice whatever it is you're wanting. Where is it? Where does it already exist? Oftentimes we have so much more than we believe we do. And it's just the belief. It's just a misunderstanding. The belief is not quite accurate. So if we find it, then we can prove to ourselves that it does exist. I do have it. The other way to go about that is to give away what you're wanting yourself. Perhaps you're wanting some connection. You're wanting someone to connect with you. So I invite you to consider how can I connect to someone else? What can I do to give what I want to receive? See, if you can give it, then you already have it. That's the beauty of that teaching. So we'll sit with our eyes closed for just a few more moments. And I'll read from an ancient Indian text. Self is everywhere, shining forth from all beings, vaster than the vast, subtler than the most subtle, unreachable yet nearer than breath, than heartbeat. Eye cannot see it, ear cannot hear it, nor tongue utter it. Only in deep absorption can the mind grow pure and silent, merge with the formless truth. As soon as you find it, you're free. You've found yourself. You've solved the great riddle. Your heart forever is at peace. Whole, you enter the whole. Your personal self returns to its radiant, intimate, deathless source. And here's a small verse from the Psalms. Help me to be aware of my selfishness, but without undue shame or self-judgment. Let me always feel you present in every atom of my life. Let me keep surrendering myself until I'm utterly transparent. Let my words be rooted in honesty and my thoughts be lost in your light. Unnameable God, my essence, my origin, my lifeblood, my home. And the bell signals the end of our practice, and you can take your time, and when you feel ready, you can slowly open your eyes when it feels right to do so. Would anybody like to share their experience or tell me how that felt for you? If you'd like to discuss it, we can, or we can just sit and enjoy.
I think now might be a good time to quickly end the live stream session, if that's okay with Angela, with you.
Yep.
And then that way people might be able to more freely engage if they're logged in via Zoom.
Perfect. Thank you.
One moment here. So again, this is Kelly Hendershot. I am the program director at Gilda's Club Quad Cities. If you're enjoying our virtual programs, please let us know. You can add comments to this post. You can like us. You can also find our lineup of online virtual support, which includes support groups, meditation, yoga, coffee club, and educational programs at gildasclubsqc.org. So thank you everybody for joining us on Facebook Live this morning.